So since the announcement of the OnePlus 8 Pro, I've been using it as my daily Android device. I absolutely love this phone. I think OnePlus knocked it out of the park. I do have a couple of minor complaints, which I'll save for a future video, but overall, this is my favorite Android phone right now. I also like this phone for one specific reason. Super clean, minimalistic look with the ability to truly customize your device without having to download any crazy launchers. Now, the first thing I do when I set up my phone is I go directly into the settings menu and I change the theming. I don't like light mode. I personally prefer dark mode. So I'll go into customization, I'll hit preset theme, and I'll change it from illuminating light to nuanced dark. Dark mode not only, I personally think, looks better, but it's also a battery saver because when you have a black background, the AMOLED panel can keep the pixels off and you'll end up saving battery. The next thing I'll do is I'll head down to wallpapers. I'll change to the wallpaper that I like. And then I will head over to the lock screen customization to change the animation on the fingerprints. Now, I like the animation, it's cool, but I don't need to see it every single time I log in. So I just turn it off and I think it looks a lot cleaner. After that, I head down to system customization and I change the color of the icons. I usually change the color of the icons to match the color of the phone. So since the OnePlus 8 Pro has a very bluish purpley look, I'll change the color from a light blue to a darker purple / bluish color. And this way, the whole theming makes a lot more sense. After that, I will head over to the tone and I'll make sure it's set on dark mode. And then I'll head down to the system icons and I will choose round rectangle. Now this is personal preference. I just like the round edges, so I go with round rectangle, but you'll see in a second, it won't make a difference depending on the icon pack you choose from. The icon pack that I'm personally using is called Circle. I just like it. It has very punchy but not overbearing contrasty icons. There's Circle, which is a nice look, and I just think it makes the whole device look clean. Of course, you can install any icon pack you want, and as soon as you download it, it gets preloaded into the system. And last up is the font. I don't personally like the OnePlus Slate. It's not bad, it's nice, but I personally think the Roboto text looks a bit better. The next thing I'll do is I'll head back into the settings menu and then I'll scroll down to the display. And the first thing I do is I go into the advanced section. Now, screen calibration, you have the option to put it on vivid or advanced to really customize it, but I like to leave it on natural because I don't want my colors to be too punchy because it takes away from what you're looking at, especially if you're looking at Instagram or editing a photo for Instagram. You want to calibrate it for everybody's screen and you don't want it to be too contrasty. So I'll leave it on natural. The next thing I'll do is I'll head down to resolution and I'll change it from Full HD Plus to QHD Plus. Most smartphones that can do QHD usually have it set at Full HD by default. And since the OnePlus 8 Pro can support 120 Hz at QHD Plus, I'll automatically change it. Like, I'd rather sacrifice a little bit of battery life for a more pixel dense display, especially when you're using a 6.8 inch screen. Auto power saving I turn on when it's on QHD. This way it goes back and forth between QHD and Full HD to conserve battery, especially when it gets to a lower percentage. And I don't have to remember to go back into settings if I'm running out of battery life. After that, I'll go back into the display settings, then I'll head down to Vibrant Color Effect Pro. I'll leave this on. It makes videos look punchier while you're watching it, and I just think it adds to the experience. Then I'll head back out and select Motion Graphics Smoothing. Now this is, again, personal preference. I don't like it. I've never liked it on TVs, and I don't like it on smartphones. Sometimes it's okay if you're watching sports or gaming, but overall I'd just rather have it off. After motion smoothings, I'll head down to the status bar and I will enable the battery percentage. I'd rather see the percentage of the battery than just the icon. This way it'll know exactly how much battery life I have left. So then I'll head back into the main settings menu, scroll down to sounds and vibration. I'll quickly jump into Dolby Atmos to make sure dynamic is selected. This way it'll optimize the sound depending on what I'm listening to. So if I'm listening to music, it will adapt the equalization settings to music and vice versa for movie. If you have a preference, you can just leave it on movie or music. After that, I'll still stay in sounds and vibration, then head down to earphone mode. And what I'll do is I will turn on autoplay. This way, every time I put on my headphones, it will continue playing whatever I was playing last. And this is usually a podcast, and it's a good way to continue to listen to it without having to jump into the app. Then I'll head back into the settings menu, down to buttons and gestures. And the first thing I want to do is change the navigation bar and gestures. I personally don't like the back, home, and recents buttons on the bottom of the device. So I will automatically change it to navigation gestures. And the reason being is because it's exactly the same as the gestures on the Pixel 4 and obviously the iPhone. So it's very natural for me. And I just think it's a lot easier to use than buttons. I'll also hide the bottom bar. Like, I don't need to see this line to notify me that I can swipe up from there. I just know it mentally, so I turn that off to make the menu look a bit cleaner. After that, I'll go back one menu, then I'll head down to quick gestures, and then I will enable 3-finger screenshot. This is so much better than using physical buttons to take a screenshot. I can take 3 fingers, swipe anywhere on the screen, and it's automatically going to take a screenshot for me. Much easier to do. After that, I will make sure double tap to wake up is enabled. And I don't really care about these gestures too much. I mean, like, you can swipe with V or O if you want to go back and forth between songs, but it just gets a bit too confusing. Then after that, I'll head back to the main settings menu again. I'll go down to security and lock screen. And the first thing I'll do is I'll make sure I have fingerprint unlock activated with both thumbs and access. And then I will make sure to have Face ID unlock also activated. Now, if you truly care about security, you won't activate Face Unlock. You'll just use the fingerprint scanner, since Face Unlock on this is not as secure as Face Unlock as the iPhone. After that, I'll head back to the settings menu, swipe up to get out of it, then I'll swipe down again to get to quick settings, and I'll remove 3 specific things. I'll remove NFC because I always leave it on, so there's really no reason to have it in my quick settings menu. I'll remove location, since I always have it on as well. And the last thing I'll remove is Zen mode, since I never, ever use it. I don't think I've even loaded up the app once. What I will add though is To Do. To Do is the To Do app, which is a task manager by Microsoft, and it just allows me to get to it a bit quicker. So if I'm like, using my phone, quickly swipe down, tap on To Do, and I can automatically add a task to the app, which is so much more convenient than pressing the button under a folder. And the last customization, and this goes to OnePlus, is I'm finally happy they removed Top Shelf. I know some of you liked it, but I personally prefer Google Now when you swipe to the right. Like, I have a curated list of news that I look at, and it constantly gives me the information that I'm looking for, so it's nice to have it when I swipe to the right. If you're interested in this wallpaper, there'll be a link to that, and I take the time, I put it on the top, I make sure my icons fit nicely into the wallpaper so it looks natural, and I would love to go through every single application I use on this device, but I'll be straight up with you, most of it is the standard stuff, like social media, home tech, all the standard stuff you're used to seeing, but I will mention 3 specific apps. AirMessage, which is an Android app that allows me to get my iMessages from my iPhone. So if someone messages me on my iPhone, I'll get it on my Android device as well. I can respond to them, I can send them pictures, it works very well. The second app is Microsoft Edge. Now, I like it because I use it on my desktop. It's a lot quicker. It's not such a huge resource hog as Google Chrome. So I use it on my phone as well so that I can keep my tabs synced when I'm switching devices. And the last one that I want to mention is my Reddit app. This is called Boost. It's a very nice program. I think it looks very clean, it's simple, and it's minimalistic. But if you guys have any suggestions for better Reddit apps, please let me know in the comment section down below. So that pretty much wraps it up. That's how I set up my Android device in 2020. Let me know how you set up yours. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know. Stay safe, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.